We're literally about to go through the most traumatic extremes that this country has ever faced simultaneously, right? Stock market crash, Dust Bowl, Great Depression, right? Real estate pop of '08, the fossil fuel and gas shortages
Supply
of the
chain.
70s. We're doing this now all at once.
Nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect my opinion, Dex's opinion, or anyone else who works with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. I would hope that everybody knows you can support us through EMP Shield, but you can also protect yourself. You will get $50 off on every EMP Shield that you order, on top of any sale that they're running. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP to protect yourself. Dex, let's get the next caller on. Let's bring on, it looks like we have Lisa Marie.
Because Utah shouldn't really be on the map. But our governor here, right, was picked out of all of the governors in the country, and he's leading out of the 7 that were handpicked by, the current POTUS to start, and I'm not going to say the word, that phrase that you talked about in the beginning, that CC, I like to call it CNC Music Factory, because everything is cyclical and everything changes, right? And so the fact that we have somebody from Utah, well, we're supposed to be experiencing a 150-year drought. And anybody who knows a little bit about Bayer and Monsanto and Roundup and all the craziness and the car accident we had, about a week and a half ago, it was a crazy dust storm that came across central Utah, blinded a bunch of people. We had a 22-car pileup with 8 people, that perished in this accident. And we don't have sandstorms like that, right? In various parts of the Middle East, there's fun names for them that the inner child in many of us will laugh. I believe it's called a haboob. But those sandstorms are so intense, you can have your hand 3 inches in front of your face and not see it because there's that much sand. And that's right. We're literally about to go through the most traumatic extremes that this country has ever faced simultaneously, right? Stock market crash, Dust Bowl, Great Depression, right? Real estate pop of '08, the fossil fuel and gas shortages
Supply
of the
chain.
70s. We're doing this now all at once.
Yeah, the supply chain, just now we've talked to several people just in the last couple of days. They say that we have not even hit the supply chain yet, which we covered and we kind of knew. But they are saying they're just not getting any more trucks anymore, and they're not getting any more ships, and the cargo has just stopped. And we're about to see the worst supply chain shortage we've ever seen in our lifetimes. So, like you said, all of this
100%.
stuff is going to happen. Everything is about to collapse. And people are totally asleep still, and they think that everybody thinks that they can listen to the news for this. It's not.
Yeah, that they can play flamingo and stick their head in the sand and go doop doop doop. Nope, I guess we're cool. I'll just wait till the next guy's in and we're gonna be good. No, bro, the time is now. In fact, if any of your listeners are on. If any of the fam is on like Telegram, or I think you can find him on YouTube, there's an amazing guy. He's an economist and a farmer. He goes by Ice Age Farmer. This guy tracks all this stuff down to metal shortages that are preventing the canning of tomatoes in Italy. Italy threw out 1/3 of their crop, right? Plastic and resin shortages that are now preventing dairy products from being packaged all over Europe, not just the UK, but all over Europe and even parts of, Asia. And he goes over, right? So I have a brother who's a trucker. And one of the things that he complained about, he's been doing it for about 15 years, is he says, as things have been modernizing, they have new requirements that make it not only less lucrative to be a driver, but they make it darn near impossible. You have to have, right? Like I remember when California started doing the smog checks and everybody was like, oh, we already do an inspection and I already have to pay for my registration. And are you kidding me? Right? What truckers have to go through now is 10 times more difficult. It's like being a farmer now. If you didn't inherit it and already have like back savings, I have some cattle farmers and cattle ranchers in Tennessee and Georgia and even here in Utah where they haven't turned a profit in over a decade.
That's insane.
And so, right, like what I said China was doing globally to kind of put everybody in a level of dependency on them, That's what we're doing domestically right now. So we're importing non-residents, right? This new spending bill is absolutely beautiful. There's $10 million that's dedicated to seeing the ramifications of closing down the XL pipeline, not to possibly reopen it, not to fix it. $10 million to study what closing it has done. I mean, are you kidding me? Like we're literally living in clown world, right? And then we're talking about more lockdowns. We're back and forthing with everything, right? And it's compounding over and over and over. So we talked about Lake Mead earlier, right? Where I live, we have Lake Powell. And Lake Powell is very much like Lake Mead, but this goes to Utah, Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico. It is 165 meters down from last year. It is the lowest that it has ever been in all like recorded history. And so there's a place called Flaming Gorge, one of our other reservoirs, that they're emptying 250,000 gallons of water into Lake Powell. It will raise the water level by 2 inches.
Wow.
2 inches. And we have 7 counties that are now, their reservoirs are at 0%. And then as soon as that story came out about a week ago, now Utah has been getting hit with monsoons that have, I mean, I grew up in this state. We've never had that. And down in our southern area, we have Cedar City. It's just north of St. George. It's kind of parallel-esque to where Lake Powell is. There are 294 homes that are still being dug out of the mud from these storms just over the last week. Moab, if anybody's ever been there, it's a fantastic destination. You can see like Arches National, Park. You can see certain parts of just all of this beautiful scenery. Well, they had 2 to 4 inches of water in the first hour of their storm. Their main street, hopefully you have an all-wheel, sort of vehicle. I mean, if you live there, it would be pointless not to. But at the very least, the bottoms of every door on that main street are flooded with water. So now when you think about it, this is where it gets super interesting. Because with my job, I dealt with a lot of joint forces. So it wasn't just Army. It wasn't just my job field. I dealt with people from all sorts of branches, from even different countries. It just, I wish we didn't have these crazy restrictions. I'd love to go see, some of my comrades or compatriots from Australia or, the UK or whatever. But that being said, I got to know some really amazing airmen who, if you guys don't know anything about it, you need to look up this acronym HAARP, HARP, right? And that's going to be one of those super interesting things because big tech is investing a lot of money in Utah. And once Utah started talking about that dust storm, this drought, some craziness, we've now been getting flooding like you've never seen before. And if you think that this is conspiratorial, I challenge anybody, right? Specifically because my background is in Russian happenings. The Red Square, right outside the Kremlin, right? They have their version of kind of like a victory day, День Победы. It's like day of success or day of victory. And this day, there's been plenty of storms that have come in and around the Kremlin, but for some reason, every single year when this parade happens, precipitation disappears. They've never had it rained out. Since world wars, better part of a century, they've managed to prevent precipitation from even entering in the AO, area of operations. So it's right, there's technology that people have, and you have people who are recognizing that leadership globally is unstable and corruptible. And so you're having power grabs that are going to go left and right all over this globe. And when you start paying attention to that, that's just our social struggle. But you can check all this out, by the way, especially with regards to plug. There's a channel on YouTube, and I think they have Telegram as well. It's the Dobrinich channel, Delta Oscar Bravo Romeo India November India Charlie Hotel. That's how you spell it in the, Army alphabet. But there's also another channel that's called Suspicious Observer, and it does outer space weather. So it's going to do weather for the whole solar system. They talk about our star. They talk about even movement on the planet, the tectonic plates. Twice this year, we've had in excess of 40 volcanoes erupting simultaneously. That signifies that we're at one of those earlier callers talked about, like every 3,500 years. Plus, there's a major event that happens every 12,000 years, right? Plus, you have one that happens every 16,000 years, and these are all culminating in one. And one of the things that we found to be historically accurate is that one of the warning signs is you have an excess of earthquakes, like numbers that you've never seen before. You can check out a channel called Dutch Sense. He's been doing forecasts for earthquake and volcanoes for quite a while. He's spot on. And
it's the hotspots, which, by the way, now everybody knows about it. They're now military know too that the hotspot technology that Dutch Sense was doing was laughed at first. Now they are teaching that in colleges now. That is how they are predicting these things, and again, that is real.
Absolutely.
Adam, 4 minutes left on YouTube.
Yeah, Dutch Sense is on point, and he explains a lot of how those earthquakes are going to have ramifications outward, how sometimes oil drilling really weakens, the actual layers of the plate so that you're getting more tectonic shifting. It's what leads into, and I was in Hawaii on the Big Island a year after the volcano went off in Kona, and while it did destroy a lot of stuff, it's literally like walking from Middle Earth, down into the depths of hell, because I walked onto what should have been a beach, and it was 30 straight feet up of nothing but black rock. And you see the showers and the sign that says no dogs past this point, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is intense. It added 17 square kilometers to the island, which, is cool. And everything is cyclic, right? If we thought that it was all that CNC music factory, then other planets, that don't have human population wouldn't also have cycles. But we've seen that, interplanetary sort of cyclical movement and shifts that stretch, as far as we can see through time with, distances and light traveling and stuff like that. But there's always a precursor. And the precursor is that tectonic plate shifting, whether it's due to, man-made actions of drilling, all over Texas, all over Oklahoma, all over parts of Nevada and California. And you see, especially where you guys are in the Northwest, you guys have those fault lines that split right along the edge, right off the coast.
Lisa Marie.
And,
I do
have
to interrupt you. We're about to hit that 2-hour mark, so we will actually, we're going to have to cut it.
Let me get off the phone.
That's okay. But Lisa Marie, we want to have you back. In fact, Ilea commented, did a super chat and said, Lisa Marie, will you be my new best friend? Ilea is an old school Foogle fam.
Anytime.
If we go past 2 hours, it will not process we've had it not processed for 24 hours prior. So again, we're probably we're not going to be doing shoutro.
I'll hop off. Thank you.
We're not doing a shoutro tonight. Thank you so much. I want to have you back on. Lisa Marie, I have more stuff that I want to pick your brain on. So we might actually contact you next time. So thank you so much.
Yep, anytime.
If you want to support the show in a different way, you can go to marfooglenews.com/VPN. I would hope that everybody knows you can support us through EMP Shield, but you can also protect yourself. You will get $50 off on every EMP Shield that you order, on top of any sale that they're running. They've done some amazing sales lately. Again, make sure to go to this website to check. It will automatically be on top of our $50 off whatever they're running. So again, it can actually protect you against all three phases of an EMP. It can protect all of your devices like your home, your car, your RV, your motorcycle, your ham radio, or even your solar system. It can also protect all of your devices or your motors or your engines against solar flares, the natural kind. Not only this, it can protect your home against lightning or any other thing that you put these on. They make a device for pretty much everything, the most popular being the car. You don't want to be stuck somewhere after we get hit with multiple EMPs. This can take it. It's Keystone tested. It's actually used. This company is now contracted with DHS, Department of Homeland Security, DOD, Department of Defense, and of course the DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. Go to marfooglenews.com/EMP to protect yourself and to help independent media at the same time. Again, you win because you get a discount. We win because we get a commission, and that helps us grow. So we really do appreciate each and every one of you that have already done it or have already protected yourself.
Feed the haters to the alligators. Your way or the highway, see you later. B.O.D. is the homie and Mr. Vader. If it wasn't for you, I would never made it. Whole city's covered by the cremated. Now they listen to what we were saying. Doesn't matter if the manufacturer or created. But now